Hey all, so today we're going to be doing some personality quizzes. There are a bunch of personality quizzes out there that will tell you based on a spectrum, like Myers-Briggs, where you fall on these different categories, such as being introverted or extroverted, being agreeable, being conscientious, and being open to new experiences. If you don't know what those words mean, extroversion and introversion are sort of the opposite of each other. Introversion would be where you are more like to spend alone time with yourself, and extroversion is where you are constantly having fun and playing with other people, and when you don't necessarily thrive on alone time. And the important thing to know is that we fall within a spectrum of these two categories on opposite ends. We're not just introverted and we're not just extroverted. We fall somewhere within the line of being more so introverted or more so extroverted. So these quizzes that we have selected for us, a lot of them are free and online, such as 16 Personalities. 16 Personalities is a 60-question questionnaire, which asks all these questions about you, your personality, what you prefer, your own experiences, and it'll be from most likely to least likely, or you most agree to you completely disagree on how that relates to yourself. A lot of the questions can be hard to understand. If you don't have, if you've never answered questions like them before, two, if you don't necessarily know how you feel in certain situations. It's always good to ask people who are close to you and who know you in different social situations on how you respond in those given situations. Instead of doing the 60 questions, 16 personality, we have is a shorter personality quiz, which is just 10 questions, which will be sort of an introduction for a lot of students, a lot of middle schoolers, where 60 questions is a long time to sit down. So the quiz that I have picked out is called just the short personality quiz. It's still based on those 5 personality traits: extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness to experience, and emotional stability. So first you answer how old you are and your sex. So are you female, male, or non-binary? So I am female. The first question, I see myself as extroverted or enthusiastic. If I were to answer this question in middle school, I would probably say that I am the most extroverted. I was constantly hanging out with people and always thriving in social situations, didn't necessarily like alone time. I wasn't alone practically ever. But then as I grew up, started to spend more and more alone time, started to appreciate it, and started to actually need that alone time more than I did when I was a child, which is totally understandable. So, seeing as I'm not 10 years old anymore, I'm going to do, I agree a little, extroverted and enthusiastic. I see myself as critical and quarrelsome. I would say disagree moderately. Quarrelsome would be someone who likes to get in those arguments with other people, whether they believe in the thing that they are arguing about. It's more so for the purpose of heating up tension and just rising the situation more than it needs to be. There are people that desire that, and there are people that kind of shy away and don't want to be in those situations at all and kind of find them a little bit anxiety-provoking. I see myself as dependable and self-disciplined. I would say agree strongly. I see myself as anxious and easily upset. I would say agree. I would like to say agree a little. I feel like other people would say agree moderately. But I'm going to do agree a little. I see myself as open to new experiences and complex. I wish I was more open to new experiences, so I'm going to do agree a little. I see myself as reserved and quiet. That depends on who I'm hanging out with, and who you ask, of course. So I'm going to say disagree a little. I see myself as sympathetic and warm. I'm going to do agree agree strongly. It's funny because when I talk to people that knew me in middle school or high school, or even elementary school, they would say that their first opinion of me or their first reaction to me was that I didn't like them, or that I came off as scary and intimidating. And then once they got to know me or had an actual conversation with me, they realized that was the complete opposite. And then over time, those people really became my best friends. But it's interesting that wasn't just one person that said it. It was a common occurrence that people were intimidated and seemed fearful of me from the get-go. So while I am sympathetic and warm, apparently I don't come across that way. I see myself as disorganized and careless. I could definitely be more organized, but I wouldn't say that I'm disorganized to the point of being careless. So I'm going to say disagree moderately, not entirely strongly. I see myself as calm, emotionally stable. Apparently my mother laughed to that one. Okay. I see myself as calm and emotionally stable. I'm going to say disagree a little. I see myself as conventional and uncreative, and I'm going to say disagree strongly. So those are the 10 questions, and then we hit score personality, and it says that I appear to be more extroverted than most people. I've scored higher in agreeableness, suggesting that I'm compassionate and cooperative towards others. People high in agreeableness tend to have a greater concern for social harmony. Conscientiousness. You have scored quite high in conscientiousness, suggesting you greatly value self-discipline, acting dutifully, and aiming for achievement. Emotional stability. You have scored lower than most people in emotional stability, and may therefore sometimes experience negative emotions such as anger, anxiety, or depression more than others. You may be a bit more emotionally reactive and vulnerable to stress than others. People who score lower in emotional stability are more likely to interpret ordinary situations as threatening and minor frustrations as being more difficult than they really are. Openness to experience. You scored quite high on your openness to experience. This suggests a general appreciation for art, emotion, adventure, unusual ideas, imagination and curiosity, and variety of experience. I tend to agree with all of them, especially the openness to experience. Emotional stability, conscientiousness. Yeah. For me, when I take these quizzes, my extroversion constantly goes back and forth of whether I'm introverted or whether I'm extroverted. But the one I scored the highest was a tie between agreeableness and conscientiousness. Agreeableness being compassionate and cooperative with other people, and conscientiousness being self-disciplined and having a desire for high achievement that's self-motivated. And my lowest was obviously emotional stability, as you may or may not have guessed. So this going into 16 personality quizzes, the cool thing about 16 personality is because you have so many questions, your responses have a better view of who you are, and then based on your answers, so for me, it would be extroverted, agreeable, conscientious, low emotional, open to experience. I'm wondering how that translates to the 16 personalities. But they have them categorized into analysts, diplomats, centennials, explorers. So your personality trait, which is a personality trait of 4 or 5, based on those 5 different categories, would then give you a really in-depth explanation on your personality, on jobs that you would likely thrive in, on social interactions that you would both thrive in and then not necessarily do well in. So if you have the desire to take 16 personalities, to take a better view and a clearer view into who you are, and then look at these different personality types, you might gain a better understanding of how you act and react, and then how you can help yourself, and then how other people can help you based on that personality. So I will include these different personality quizzes in the link below. Let me know which one you take, which one was your favorite, and then which answer surprised you the most.